my lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. It is your girl from the 314 coming at you from the 770 with another thrilling Cheetah Diva adventure. I know what you're thinking. Nyla, you just started. How is it that you have a things I hated in 2018? Answer: I'm a consumer. I buy products and work with it and play with it, and if it's something I don't like, it goes in the back of the drawer, or if it's something that I've had an issue with, then I won't wear it again. Some of these products that I bought are not necessarily bad things or things that I really hate, but I've had issues somewhere along the line that precipitated me in not using that product again. So let's get started. First up on my list is the Maybelline Age Rewind Eraser. Now this is supposed to kind of tighten up under your eyes so that it gives you a more youthful look. It deals with those little nagging underlines. But one of the things that I found is, one, it doesn't actually do that. I mean, I didn't feel a tingle at all. But the thing that bothers me about it the most is this little this little sponge where you have to kind of crank this up to get this to come out some. Ugh, that's gross. But the sponge stays wet. So every time I would put this on, I would cringe. It was just disgusting. Now, do I still use this? Occasionally, when I want to use a different concealer, but I use it under the makeup. I don't use it on top. I just don't. It's just it's just cringe-worthy to have this wet, disgusting sponge that's probably accumulating a lot of bacteria. And don't get me wrong, I'm not that Howard Hughes freak, but where everything has to be sterile. It's just gross. So that's one of my, I hate it, but I don't hate it, but I'll use it again, but not that much product. Okay, no, that sounds weird. By the way, the look that I'm rocking right now is from the James Charles palette, and I did use that You're Kidding color, but I used it as a transition color, so the Benny color is sitting on top of it, so it really looks nice. And here's the thing about this look, with the exception of a few touch-ups, I've been wearing this since about 7:30 this morning. It is now 12 hours later. I still look snatched to the gods. You know that's right. Go girl. Okay, back to this little list of stuff I really don't like, but not really. Next up is this Ulta top coat. It's a silver color. I got this to put on top of this look I wanted to have. I wanted a little shimmer. The problem with this is it went on kind of patchy. Even when I used a concealer or an eye primer. Now I did recently buy MAC's Mixie Medium, so we're gonna play with this and see what that takes us. So this is one of those things that, yeah, I had issues with, but maybe I'll rock it again. Next up is this NYX Shine Killer. Didn't work at all. Didn't like it. It sucked. It just made my skin feel really stiff and really weird. So, and it didn't stop the shine at all. So that's one of those things that I will not be taking into 2019. Next up is this Sephora I Take. You can kind of put this on the corners of your eyes and put as much makeup on there as possible without going over that edge. The problem I found with this is even when I didn't have any makeup or any powder on, it never really stuck. This hurts my heart because I really like the Sephora brand, but this is a pass for me. I won't be using this in 2019. Next up is this Smashbox Foundation that I bought. This is Smashbox Studio Skin, and I bought it as a fall transitional color. It's number 4.3. The problem I had with it is when it went on my skin, it went on oily, and that oil never stopped. It was just shiny. I looked greasy, and it just was not a good look for me. So this is one of those products that is going to, yeah, we're not going to take that into 2019. Next product that I have is this CoverGirl Picture Point Plus. It's a black eyeliner. I wanted something different. My go-to is Kat Von D's Tattoo Liner, or I'll use e.l.f.'s Liquid Liner. I wanted a liner like this because it just gives me a different dimension. Now this didn't go bad on my lips, but it shows up really good when I do this. But when I was trying to put that on my eye, didn't show. So if anything, I would use this as a lip liner, but not much of that. So this is something I will take into 2019, not a problem. Next product I have is Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. Oh, that doesn't look like it? Okay, this is what it looks like in a container. I love this powder. It's so awesome. It feels so silky on the skin. I just love it. However, there's a design flaw with this product. It's got this nice little heart-shaped flap on top, and that's actually pretty good for most products, and you can kind of get away with using that. And it's got a little heart-shaped opening here. But the problem with this is that the holes go way too far down inside a little heart-shaped pattern. So when you do this, product doesn't come out at all. But if you turn it sideways, you have a really, really crazy spillage problem. And that spillage is just, yeah, I've wasted a lot of this product trying to get it out. So it became easier for me to put it in this little clear container and use it, as opposed to trying to fight through this. Definitely a product I would take in the 2019, but yeah, I hope Too Faced kind of redesigns this, because this is just sloppy and it's messy, and it's too expensive for me to lose even a half a teaspoon of it. It cost me it cost me 32 bucks for this. So yes, that's in the 2019, but I'd be a little slow to buy it again. Laura Mercier's powder is just as nice, just as expensive as that, but you're not going to get that messy problem. Although, you know, you have to pour the powder into the lid, so I can live with that. The next thing on my maybe sorta, I don't know list is these crayon case pencils. They are crayon case colored pencils. Now I've bought several products from the crayon case, and I wanted to have a variety of the pencils. The problem with these is that they don't really show up very well if you use them on your lips. This one is a nice brown if I put it on my hand, but if I try to put it on my lips, yeah, that's not going to show. I can't do nothing with that one. This one, I can't tell if that's the same as the other one. And then this one, which is called Bear. It looks like it's pigmented, but yeah, that's not going to show up on my lip either, so it's barely there. The only one that shows up is this black ranked, and it shows up pretty good, so I do use that regularly. Now, as far as if I'll take these in the 2019, maybe. I might be able to find something interesting to do if I'm doing a colored eyebrow, but for the most part, you know, it's in my sorta. I'll take it, but not really, but I can work with it. I just have to play with it just a little bit. The next up on my list is Black Opal's finishing powder. I'm not sure if I got the wrong color, but it looks very ashy on my skin, so I kind of don't really use it. I might use it under my foundation, but it still shows up ashy, so this is definitely something that I won't be using again. Now, one of the products that I can actually sit here and say that I really hated and will definitely not use, but I don't have a bottle sample for you, is micellar water. It scarred my face. I remember putting it here when I started, and then it went down here, over this way, up here, and for some reason I touched my forehead. As I was washing my face, I could see it bubbling. And I quickly rinsed it off, and I had these huge pustules. Now, I was supposed to start my YouTube channel in March, but because of that, it delayed me until the fall. So I went to a dermatologist. I was just absolutely in tears. I have this beautiful skin, and it's just covered with pustules, and this is disgusting. And she's a sweet little Indian lady, and I say that for a reason. The majority of her patients are Indian females, and she has been trying for years to get them to stop using micellar water. The ingredient that is in this product, I can't pronounce the name, but it's PHMB. I'll put it in the notes below. And this is a substance that's banned in the United States. I freaked out. I couldn't wear makeup for about 2 weeks while all that scabbed down, and what I was left with was these little black spots over my face and these little scars. So I began a regimen of collagen, cocoa butter, Ambi to lighten the spots up, and my skin looks a little better. But this is one of the reasons why I powder up when I'm putting on my makeup, is because it just doesn't look right on the camera, and I'm not very confident with it. So this is something that I'll work on, but we'll see. The next product that I have, and this is not something that I'm not going to ever use again, it's just maybe 2 things in here that I definitely won't use. This is the box of crayons from the crayon case. The issue that I have here is obviously the red. The issue I have is this brown. Now, the exact shade matching my skin. If the crayon case people want to make that in a foundation, I am all for it. But that didn't show up on me at all. So it's, yeah. Those 2 colors are no for me, but the rest of the palette I'm good with. The last item on this little list, this is the Mented 9 Shadow Palette. Now, this one pains me. When I got this palette, this was my go-to everyday look. And I actually love it. The colors are very beautiful. The colors are very pigmented. They felt like silk. But I am going to not wear this ever again. Here's the problem. The palette was sent out. The tracking on it gave a specific date. It's supposed to be sent to you by 8 o'clock this particular day. Well, I didn't get it. Okay. Our mail person sucks, you know. There's no telling where it's at. So 2 days, 3 days into it, I still hadn't received it. So I went to the Mented website, and they had this little chat bubble. If you have any questions, you know, click this and you'll have somebody live who'll help you. Nobody was actually there, and it didn't really work. Okay. So they had an email address, and outside of work, I do not send emails anymore, but I sent an email. I explained what was going on, what was happening. I didn't get the palette. I know there's a problem with our postal person, so what should I do at this point? And the response actually floored me. She was of the opinion that I could get another palette, but I can't return it, and I need to check with my business office for my complex. And oh my god, I just stared at the screen. A lot of companies probably have that policy, but there's a way to say that without making it sound like I was stealing. So we kind of went back and forth, and I was explaining my point of view to her as a consumer. And while the person understood it, I was like, okay, let me check with my office. So I checked with the office, and the palette had arrived that day. So it was in fact late, but it arrived that day. Another problem with the site was everybody was giving it 5 stars. That's an issue in itself, because you don't know if these are legitimate reviews or if these are people that's just saying they're absolutely loving it and hyping it up like that. Neither here nor there with me. And a lot of people had the opinion that, well, this is a black-owned company, we should support it. I am good about wanting to support a black-owned business. At the same time, that business has a responsibility to us, just like the other companies have a responsibility to us, but don't actually show that responsibility. We don't get the color ranges that we like. We don't get ones that look good on us. And just because you're a black-owned business doesn't mean that you can treat us just as bad. You are responsible. I paid $28 for this palette. There are only 9 colors in it. And at the end of the day, I was made to feel like a criminal. So that was one aspect of it. So I did use this as an everyday look, and I actually loved it. But it's the only product I ever bought from them. I was gonna buy a couple of their other products, not their lipsticks. No, I can't wear the lipsticks. But I was looking at a couple of the other products. Because of my experience with this, I never bought another product from them, but I did use it. And then I meant it on my Facebook page. You know, it's one of those sponsored ads that, you know, it pops up and you're like, why is this showing up? And there was a conversation going about how much, you know, we love Mented and blah, 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 you know. So I went in and relayed my experience. And I got a couple of the responses from people who were like, well, you have to give it a chance. So the conversation went back and forth, and then someone from Mented engaged me in the discussion, and she wanted to know my name. That particular Facebook setting, I have a troll name that I use, and I went into PM and sent her my real name. This was her wanting to know if I was really a customer or if I was just somebody being a bitter Betty about it. So I gave her my real name, and yeah, she looked it up. And we talked back and forth for a second. But then, I still can't believe this happened. The next correspondence I got was an ad. They sent me an ad. I was complaining. They sent me an ad. I blocked Mentic. Took this palette, threw it in the closet. I have never worn it again. Well, that is all of the products that I hate. Maybe sort of, I'll give it a second chance, but maybe not for 2018. And this was a really fun video to do. It was my very first one. So yay me, got it out the way. I really enjoy having you all show up and show out for me. I'm really enjoying this, so if you want to get more content, if you're new, click the subscribe button and make sure you click that bell so that you do get notification. Until next time, until next video, this is your Cheetah Diva signing out. Peace. Got lipstick on my finger. Ooh, it's really pigmented too. Striker. Color pop. Awesome. Bye.